pleased to be joined now by a special guest. She is a former MVP of the WNBA, and she has won 2 Olympic gold medals with the USA team, and that is a former Lady Vol, Tamika Catchings. Tamika, how are you?
I'm great, Jimmy. How about you?
Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us, and I'm sure that representing your country in the Olympics never gets old, does it?
Oh, no. I'm looking forward to it.
Talk about this experience versus the first 2.
Well, I'm a lot older. No, I'm looking forward to it. You know, when I look around and just seeing the players that I've had the opportunity to play with in the first 2 Olympics, and you know, now looking at being one of the veteran leaders of this team, you know, I'm just excited about the opportunity. And you know, we got some great ladies on this team, both on and off the court. You know, just from a character standpoint. So it's going to be a great time. You know, just going to have to stay focused and ready to play.
The United States has won 4 consecutive gold medals in the Olympics in women's basketball. Does that put pressure on you, or does that give you confidence going in?
You know, I feel like our coaches have done a really good job of kind of sheltering us from that pressure and just really preparing us as a team and keeping us focused on what we need to focus on the court. So from a focus or from a pressure standpoint, I don't feel like, you know, that's really a big issue. It's just kind of just making sure, you know, as a team, and especially like I talked about, just being a leader of this team, you know, staying focused and keeping the team on the same page.
Hi, Tamika. This is Vince Ferrara. Good to talk to you. If you could, size up the roster to talk about some of your teammates and what the sort of the makeup of this year's team is.
Well, I feel like with USA Basketball, the one great thing is that we're built off of a core group. And, you know, right now looking at the core group that we have, obviously the 3 of us with Diana Taurasi, Sue Bird, and I, and we came in together, and even Swing Cash was a part of that 2014. So when you look at those players and just the experiences that we've been able to to go through together, you know, from the 2002 World Championship all the way to where we are now, going into the 2012 Olympics. You know, I feel, you know, obviously everybody knows Diana Taurasi and what she's capable of doing, just 3-point shooter, you know, offensive threat like none other. And then, of course, you got Sue Bird, you know, a point guard, and just a great floor general. I mean, she's able to kind of, going under Gino Ariema's system, you know, back at Connecticut. I mean, they know his plays, they know his style. So for her, you know, just being able to kind of put everybody where they need to be. And then looking at Swing Cash, I mean, she'll come in, 3-4 player for us, inside-outside player, and just being really effective. And then when you look at the younger group that we have, Tina Charles, Maya Moore, Candace Parker, Simone Augustus, Sylvia Fowles. I mean, we got a great group. We got players that can come out and pretty much do a little bit of everything. Candace Parker, you know, my other UT fam on the team, just a do-it-all post player that has a lot of guard skills. So I feel like overall, you know, we're just we're really stacked.
How's your game right now? What are you doing well?
Well, probably the same thing. You know, just feel like I'm a better shooter now than I was back then. But, you know, overall, just being more of a consistent player and a more overall great leader. Just being able to have the opportunity to play with Dawn Staley back in the 2002 Olympics, or 2004 Olympics, and then back in the 2008 Olympics, you know, having her leadership and being able to be a part of the coaching staff and still being able to learn a lot from her, I feel like that has really helped me in my game.
Our guest, former Lady Vol Tamika Catchings, she'll be heading to the Olympics later this month. Tamika, you obviously played for Pat Summitt at Tennessee, and her rival coach, Gino Auriemma, the Olympic coach. Talk about the differences in the styles of those two coaches.
Well, let's talk about, I mean, when I think about Gino and Pat, you know, obviously there's some differences, and probably more from, you know, coaching styles and just interaction standpoint. But, you know, when you look at the success that both coaches have had, the one thing that you kind of focus on more so than the negative aspect is the positive things, and that is knowing how to get the best out of your players. And I feel like, you know, that's even with Gino being out there, you know, one thing that he's constantly talking about is just, you know, how to get the best of each player to fit into the system and to be able to overall, you know, win and be competing for a gold medal.
Did you ever talk to Gino about Pat Summitt?
A little bit, but not really. You we really don't have that. We haven't really been around each other that much, and the little bit of time that we have, it's been more focused on, what he wants from me and what he expects for me to do for this team.
And Tamika, if you would, what did it mean to you to play for such a legendary coach as Pat Summitt?
Oh, gosh, it's amazing, and, definitely a true blessing, and being able to not only get to know her from a coaching standpoint, a player standpoint, but, even now, just as a friend and being able to be able to call her up anytime and talk to her and, just knowing that somebody is behind you 110% no matter what.
Tamika, what about Holly Warlick? Talk about your relationship with her and how you think the program will go moving forward with Holly Warlick.
I'm excited for Holly. I feel like she's been coaching under Pat for a long time, and, she knows the system, she knows the school, she played there. So, I think just from a pride standpoint, knowing that you have an opportunity to come behind a legendary coach such as Pat and be able to take a whole program and hopefully keep it up at the top. I'm excited for her and the coaching staff that she brought on. I feel like they'll do a great job, the players that they already have, and, the new one that are coming in and the one that she's already has committed to come to Tennessee. I feel like, in the long run, it'll be very successful.
You mentioned Candace Parker earlier. She's had some just crazy statistical games in the WNBA this year. Give us a little bit more on Candace Parker and your interaction with her this year.
Well, Candace is definitely one of those players that has gotten better over the years, and unfortunately has kind of had her fair share of injuries, but has always bounced back from it. So, it's good to see her healthy, good to see her out there. Like you said, just having some great games, and when you look at the team and look at the LA team and what they need her to do, she steps to the plate and, she takes care of business, whether it's scoring, whether it's, making assists, whether it's rebounding, just doing a little bit of everything.
Our guest, Tamika Catchings, former Lady Vol. Tamika, you won the MVP of the WNBA last year, but before that you were four-time Defensive Player of the Year in the WNBA. And I'm wondering, from your perspective, knowing you, did the Defensive MVP awards mean as much to you as being the MVP of the league?
Oh, yeah. I think when you look at a defensive player, and you look at MVP too, but, defensive player, you're able to make so many things happen, and especially from a standpoint of being able to guard one of the best players on the opposing team and try to not necessarily shut them down, but just keep them, keep the numbers that they're used to scoring. Maybe if they average 20 points, trying to keep them down to 10 points or maybe a little bit over 10. But, you can have more of an effect from a defensive standpoint. The MVP is great, too, because it's more of a all-around award that you get for, just the fans vote you, the coaches, the media. And so, it's definitely an honor to be MVP. But I think everybody that knows me knows that my ultimate goal is to win a championship.
We talked earlier about how the United States has been dominant in the Olympics and women's basketball. Tamika, what's been the difference? Has it been shooting, athleticism, defense, rebounding, depth, or maybe a lot of the above?
I would say a lot of the above. We do. We have some great players here, and there's some great players in other countries too. But I think, just being able to put together a team full of the skill set that you need. Diana Taurasi, a pure shooter. Sue Bird, a floor leader that, like the floor general, that can really, put everybody in a position where they can be successful. And you look at, somebody like myself, from a defensive standpoint, being able to pretty much do to lock somebody down, and then also, just an all-around player in pretty much every single position. And then even the player that we have, Candace, being able to be a 4 player, but realistically she could play the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, or the 5, So when you look at players like that we have, and then, Tina Charles, the big Tina and Sylvia, it's just big targets down low that really, as they get older and they really learn how to use their bodies, they're going to be really dominant post players in our game.
Tamika, what do you think of the men's roster in the Olympics?
I think with the men, they put together a team. Their team is going to be great, of course. And, I think the biggest thing is just kind of like the women and kind of like what we have to do. Everybody's putting their egos to the side and just being committed and winning a gold medal.
Tamika, if you would, tell us about your Catch the Stars Foundation.
I would love to. We do Catch the Stars Foundation. It's a nonprofit 501c3 organization here in Indianapolis. And really, for me, just focusing on boys and girls ages 7 to 16 and providing programs that cater to literacy mentoring and fitness. So we do basketball camps, we do fitness clinics. We actually have our IB fitness clinic coming up where we team up with Indiana Black Expo. That's coming up next week. And then we got a back-to-school celebration that's coming up on Friday where we'll be giving out backpacks to kids, about 350 school supplies backpacks that we'll give out to kids. So we do a lot in the community, and really for me, a lot of it is stemmed from just when I was growing up, all the people that helped me get to where I'm at and being able to, help out with school supplies or help me get to practice or, supporting me through all the things that I did growing up. And now it's my opportunity to give back.
Now that Peyton Manning's gone, are you the biggest sports star in Indianapolis?
I don't know about that, It's just fun to be able to go out and have such a huge impact with the Fever and, becoming one of the household names out in the community.
Speaking of the Fever, what's it like to be reunited with Mickey DeMoss?
It's fun. I think Mickey's still kind of in that transitioning phase right now. I think it's definitely a transition. Everybody always talks about what's the transition for players, from high school to college and from college to the pros. And I think it's the same thing, even from a coaching standpoint. It's going to be a transitioning period.
When do you head to London?
We actually team up, or we'll get with the team this Saturday. We'll meet up in D.C. We have a game on Monday. And then from there, we actually we'll play a game on Monday. We'll fly to Manchester, play a few games there. Then we actually fly to Turkey and play a few games, and then we'll head to London. So I think our first game is the 27th, maybe.
Well, Tamika, we appreciate it. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. Congratulations for being selected once again to the Olympic team, and best of luck to you in trying to bring back another gold medal.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys.
All right. Thank you for joining us.
All right. Bye-bye.
Tamika Catchings, former Lady Vol, headed to the Olympics, headed to London later this month.